Hey, you. Yeah, you. Sitting there scrolling, looking for something to sink your teeth into. Let me pull you into my world for a bit. Because trust me, it's a wild one. Picture this. I'm standing in the middle of a family dinner. The kind where the table's groaning under the weight of too much food nobody's eating because everyone's too busy talking over each other. The air is thick with tension. And I'm clutching a glass of wine like it's my lifeline. My boyfriend's mother, Linda, is staring at me across the table, her eyes narrowed like she's trying to figure out if I'm a puzzle or a threat. And then, out of nowhere, she drops it. You know, she says, loud enough for the whole room to hear. Some people might think you're just here for the money. The room goes dead silent. My boyfriend, Matt, freezes mid-bite, his fork hovering like he's forgotten how to move. I feel my face burn, not because I'm embarrassed, but because I'm furious. Gold digger, me, the woman who's been keeping their family's secrets, paying their bills, and smiling through every barbed comment they've thrown my way. I want to laugh, scream, maybe throw my wine glass across the room just to see how they'd react. But I don't. I just sit there, letting the word hang in the air like a guillotine waiting to drop. Let's rewind a bit, because you need to understand how I got here. I'm 32, and I've spent most of my life building something for myself. I'm not rich, not by a long shot, but I've got a decent job as a project manager, a tiny apartment I love, and enough savings to feel like I'm not one paycheck away from disaster. I met Matt 3 years ago at a coffee shop, of all places. He spilled his latte on my shoes, apologized like his life depended on it, and somehow convinced me to let him buy me a replacement pair. He's sweet, clumsy, and the kind of guy who'd give you his jacket in a storm even if it meant he'd freeze. But his family, oh, they're a different story. Matt's family is complicated. His mom, Linda, is the queen bee, always dressed like she's about to close $1 million deal, even though she hasn't worked a day in years. His dad, Richard, is quieter, but don't let that fool you. He's got a way of cutting you down with a single sentence. Then there's his sister, Claire, who's 28 and acts like she's auditioning for a reality show called Who Can Be the Most Dramatic. They live in this big, flashy house that looks like it belongs in a magazine, but the cracks are there if you know where to look. Deanne paid bills piling up on the kitchen counter, or whispered arguments about money when they think no one's listening. And me, I'm the outsider who walked into this mess with a smile and a willingness to help. See, when I started dating Matt, I didn't know what I was signing up for. I thought his family was just eccentric, maybe a little intense, but nothing I couldn't handle. But then things started unraveling. About a year into our relationship, Linda called me in tears one night, saying that electricity was about to be cut off. Matt was mortified, but I couldn't just sit there and do nothing. So I loaned them $2,000, no questions asked. They promised to pay me back, and I believed them. Why wouldn't I? They were family. Or at least they were supposed to be. That was the first time, but it wasn't the last. Over the next 2 years, I'd get these calls always late at night, always with that same desperate tone. Richard needed money for a car repair. Claire had a business opportunity that just couldn't wait. Linda swore they were good for it, that it was just a rough patch. By the time I realized what was happening, I'd loaned them over $15,000. And you know how much I've gotten back? Not a single cent. But here's the kicker. Every time I handed over a check or sent a Venmo, they'd shower me with praise. You're such a good daughter-in-law, Linda would say, her voice dripping with gratitude that felt real in the moment. We're so lucky to have you. Claire would hug me, call me her sister, promise we'd go on a girls' trip Sunday to celebrate when things turned around. Even Richard, who barely speaks, would give me a nod, like I'd done some kind of approval. It felt good, you know, like I was part of something bigger, like I was helping the people I cared about. But then there were the other moments, the ones where I'd catch Linda whispering to Claire, Her eyes flicking told me like I was some kind of intruder. All the time Richard asked Matt, right in front of me, if he was sure I wasn't just after the family name. What family name? I wanted to scream. The one attached to a house they can't afford and a lifestyle they're faking. But I kept my mouth shut. Because that's what you do when you love someone, right? You swallow the hurt. You keep the peace. You tell yourself it'll get better. Back to that dinner, though. Linda's words are still ringing in my ears. And I'm trying to decide if I should laugh or cry. Matt finally puts his fork down, clears his throat, and says, "Mum, that's not fair. But it's weak. Barely a defense." And I can feel the weight of everyone's eyes on me. Claire smirking, like she's been waiting for this moment. Richard staring at his plate, pretending he's above it all. And Linda? She just raises an eyebrow, like she's daring me to say something. I don't know why it hits me so hard, but it does. Maybe it's because I've spent years trying to prove I'm not what they think I am. Maybe it's because I've given them so much me money, my time, my patience, and they still see me as some kind of schemer. Or maybe it's because, deep down, I'm starting to wonder if I've been fooling myself this whole time. I push my chair back, mutter something about needing air, and walk out to the porch. The night's cold and I'm shaking. But it's not just the wind, it's everything, the lies, the promises, the way I've let myself become someone I don't recognize. Matt follows me out, of course. He's all apologies, saying his mom didn't mean it, that she's just stressed about money. I want to believe him. But there's this knot in my stomach that won't go away. They owe me, Matt, I say, my voice sharper than I mean it to be. 15 grand, and they call me a gold digger. He looks like I've slapped him. But he doesn't argue. He just stands there, hands in his pockets, like he's waiting for me to fix it. I don't fix it. Not that night. Not the next day. I go home, lock my door, and sit on my couch with a glass of whiskey, staring at the wall. I keep replaying every moment. Every check I wrote, every time I smiled when I wanted to scream. And I start to wonder, what am I doing here? Why am I fighting so hard for people who don't even see me? I love Matt. I do, but love's supposed to lift you up, not tear you apart, isn't it? The thing is, I'm not done yet. I can't just walk away. Not when there's so much left unsaid. I'm angry. Yeah, but I'm also dreaded of being the good girl. The one who fixes everything. The one who takes the hit and keeps going. So I start thinking, maybe it's time to stop playing their game. Maybe it's time to show them who I really am. I wake up the next morning with a headache and a fire in my chest I haven't felt in years. My apartment's quiet. Just the hum of the fridge and the occasional honk from the street below. But inside my head, it's chaos. I keep seeing Linda's face, that smug little tilt of her mouth when she called me a gold digger. I keep hearing Claire's laugh, sharp and mean, like she'd been waiting for me to trip up. And Matt standing there like a deer in headlights, too scared to pick a side. I'm done being the punching bag, I decide. Done being the ATM they hit up when the bills come due. But what does that mean? Do I confront them, walk away, burn it all down? I spend the day pacing, my phone buzzing with texts from Matt that I don't answer. I'm sorry, he says. Let's talk. I love you. I want to believe he means it. But love doesn't fix this kind of mess. Love doesn't erase the fact that his family's been using me like a line of credit while whispering behind my back. By noon, I'm restless, so I grab my keys and head to the coffee shop where Matt and I met. It's stupid, maybe, but I need to feel grounded, like I can still find pieces of the me I was before all this. The barista recognizes me, slides a latte my way with a smile. I sit by the window, watching people rush by, their lives looking so simple from the outside. I'm halfway through my coffee when I see her, Claire, of all people, walking past with a guy I don't recognize. She's laughing, her arm looped through his, and for a second, I think I'm imagining it. But no, it's her. in designer sunglasses and a coat that probably costs more than my rent. I don't know why it stings, but it does. Here I am, scraping by after bailing them out, and she's strutting around like nothing's wrong. I don't plan it, but I'm out the door before I can stop myself. Claire! I call, louder than I mean to. She freezes, her smile slipping for a split second before she recovers. Oh. Hey, she says, like we're old friends bumping into each other at a party. The guy next to her looks confused, but she doesn't introduce him. What's up? She asks, and I can tell she's hoping I'll keep it light. Keep it quick. I don't. You know what's up, I say, my voice low but steady. Your mom called me a gold digger last night. After everything I've done for you all. Her eyes widen, and I see her glance at the guy. Like she's worried he'll hear too much. Good, let him. I've loaned you thousands, Claire. Thousands. And you're out here living like nothing's wrong. She laughs, but it's nervous, not cruel. You're overreacting, she says. Mom was just joking. You know how she gets joking. I want to shake her, make her see how deep this cuts, but I don't. I just stand there, feeling the anger drain into something heavier. Something like grief. You owe me, I say finally. All of you do. She doesn't answer, just mumbles something about needing to go. And then she's gone, pulling the guy along like I'm a ghost she's escaping. I go back to my apartment, but the fire's still burning. I pull out my laptop, start digging through old messages, bank statements, anything that shows what I've given them. It's worse than I thought. $18,000 total, not $15,000, because I forgot about their emergency loan for Linda's dental work last year. I feel sick, not just because of the money, but because I let it happen. I kept saying yes, kept believing their promises, kept thinking I could buy their respect. And for what? So they could turn around and call me a gold digger at a dinner table. By evening, I'm a mess, but I'm also clear-headed for the first time in months. I text Matt, tell him I need to see him. Alone. He shows up at my place an hour later, looking like he hasn't slept. I'm so sorry, he starts, but I cut him off. I need you to listen, I say. And I lay it all out: the money, the insults, the way his family's been playing me. He's quiet, too quiet, and when I'm done, he just says, I didn't know it was that bad. Didn't know. I want to scream, but I don't. I just ask, what are you going to do about it? He doesn't have an answer. Not really. He says he'll talk to them, make it right. But I can see the fear in his eyes, fear of rocking the boat, of choosing me over them. I don't push him, not yet. I just let him leave, and then I sit there, alone, wondering if I'm strong enough to do what comes next. The next few days are a blur. I go to work, smile through meetings, pretend everything's fine. But at night, I'm plotting. I start small texting Linda, politely asking for an update on the money they owe. She responds with emojis, promises to sort it out soon. But it's all fluff, no substance. I try Claire next, and she doesn't even reply. Richard's a dead end. He's never been the one to handle this stuff. I'm not surprised, but I'm furious. They think they can ignore me, brush me off like I'm nothing. They're wrong. I start thinking about what I want, not just the money, but the truth. I want them to admit what they've done, to see me as more than a stereotype they can toss around when it suits them. I want Matt to stand up, really stand up, not just mumble apologies. And I want myself back, the woman who didn't let people walk all over her, who knew her worth before she got tangled up in this mess. So I make a plan. It's not dramatic, not yet, but it's something. I call a friend, Sarah, who's a lawyer, and ask her to look over my records, see if there's anything I can do legally. She's skeptical. Agreements are shaky, she says, but she agrees to help, to draft a letter demanding repayment. It's a start, a way to say, I'm not invisible. I don't send it right away. I'm not sure I'm ready for that fight, but just having it, Knowing it's there makes me feel stronger. And then there's Matt. He texts me every day. Small things like I miss you or can we talk? I don't know what to say, so I don't say anything. I love him. But love's not enough when you're drowning. I need him to show me he's in this. Really in it. Not just coasting along hoping it'll fix itself. I need him to choose me, not because I'm demanding it, but because he sees what's happening and knows it's wrong. I'm standing at my kitchen counter one night, staring at the letter Sarah drafted, when my phone buzzes. It's Linda, of all people, asking me to come to dinner again. We'd love to see you, she says. Like nothing happened, like she didn't rip my heart out last time. I want to say no, to tell her where she can shove her invitation. But I don't. I say yes because I'm not done with them yet. I'm not done showing them who I am. The night of the dinner, I'm a bundle of nerves and steel. I spend an hour picking out an outfit not too flashy, not too meek. Just something that says I'm here and I'm not hiding. Black jeans, a silk blouse, boots that click when I walk. I want them to hear me coming. Matt picks me up, and he's quiet, his hands tight on the steering wheel. You don't have to do this, he says, but I shake my head. Yeah, I do, I tell him, and he doesn't argue. We pull up to the house, same as always, all lit up like they're trying to impress someone. Inside, it's the usual chaos. Linda's fussing over the table. Richard's pouring wine. Claire's on her phone, ignoring everyone. They act like it's just another night. Like I didn't walk out last time with their words burning holes in me. I play along, smile, say the right things. But I'm watching, waiting for my moment. Dinner starts, and it's almost normal. Too normal. Linda's telling some story about a neighbor's dog. Claire's complaining about her job. Richard's nodding like he's half asleep. Matt's next to me, his hand brushing mine under the table. But I can feel the distance between us. Even here, I'm about to think I've misjudged, that maybe I'm the one making this bigger than it is, when Linda does it again. You know, she says, her voice casual but sharp. It's so hard to find people you can trust these days. People who aren't just taking advantage. It's not subtle, and everyone knows it. Matt tenses, Claire smirks, Richard looks away. I could let it slide, could keep eating my chicken and pretend I didn't hear. But I'm done with that. I set my fork down, slow, deliberate, and look straight at her. Linda, I say, my voice calm but loud enough to carry. If you've got something to say about me, say it. The room goes still, like someone hit pause. Linda blinks, caught off guard. But she recovers fast. I'm just saying, she starts. Some people might wonder why you're so involved with our family. Involved. Like I'm some kind of con artist instead of the woman who's been bailing them out for years. I laugh, not because it's funny, but because I can't believe she's doubling down. Wonder what? I say, leaning forward. Wonder why I've loaned you $18,000. Wonder why I've sat here taking your insults. Or you call me a good daughter-in-law to my face. You want to talk about trust, Linda? Let's talk about it. I'm shaking, but my voice is steady, and I can feel every eye on me. Matt's staring at his plate, and I hate that. But I don't stop. I've given you everything, money, time, my heart, and you still think I'm here for what? Your overdrawn bank account? Your maxed out credit cards? Claire snorts, like she's trying to laugh it off. But it's weak. You're being dramatic, she says, but I turn on her too. Am I? Because I'm pretty sure you didn't think I was dramatic when you were crying to me about your business that needed $5,000. Her face goes red, and for once, she doesn't have a comeback. Richard clears his throat, mutters something about calming down. But I'm not done. I look at Linda again, hold her gaze. You owe me, I say, not just money. You owe me respect, and I'm done waiting for it. It's quiet for a long moment. The kind of quiet that feels like it's holding its breath. Then Linda stands, her chair scraping loud against the floor. I think you should leave, she says, and it's not a request. I don't argue. I grab my coat, walk out, and I don't look back, even when I hear Matt call my name. Outside, the air's cold, biting. But I feel lighter than I have in months. I don't know what happens next. Maybe they'll pay me back. Maybe they won't. Maybe Matt will show up, fight for me. Or maybe he'll stay in that house, trapped by their strings. I don't know. And for the first time, I don't need to. I've said my piece, drawn my line. I'm not their punching bag anymore. Not their savior. Not their anything. I'm just me, and that's enough. I walk to my car, slide into the driver's seat, and sit there for a minute, letting it all sink in. The stars are out, sharp and bright, and I feel like I'm seeing them for the first time in years. I start the engine, pull away, and as the house fades in my rearview, I smile. Not because it's over, but because I'm not afraid anymore. Whatever comes next, I'm ready.